I called CPS on my best friend of 15 years. For 15 years, Kirsten had been the mom I wished I could be. Organized, patient, and never missed a soccer game. Her 3 kids were straight A students who never acted out. Then her father died suddenly from a heart attack 8 months ago, and she completely fell apart. I'd lost my mom young, so when Kirsten couldn't get out of bed to make school lunches, I showed up at 6 a.m. When she'd cry through pickup time, I'd grab all 4 kids without question. The kids would stay at my house for days while Kirsten worked through waves of depression. I cooked double dinners, managed her carpools, signed permission slips she'd forget about. Her kids were ages 6, 9, and 11. They needed stability while their mom grieved, and I was honored to provide it. I had all the patience in the world for my grieving best friend. Then she met Omar at a bar 6 months ago, and everything changed overnight. First, it was just asking me to grab her kids from school because she was running errands with Omar. Then I started finding the kids at my door at 7 a.m., unfed, saying mom told them to walk over for breakfast. Omar had convinced Kirsten the kids were old enough to handle themselves. 2 months in, I noticed the kids' clothes were getting dirtier. 9-year-old Ruby wore the same shirt 4 days straight. When I offered to do their laundry, Kirsten snapped that Omar said I was enabling learned helplessness. The next week, little Aiden, the 6-year-old, showed up with a burn on his hand. He said he'd made his own mac and cheese because mom and Omar were sleeping. It was 4 p.m. By month 3, the kids were missing school. The attendance officer called me since I was listed as emergency contact. 11 missed days for Jaden, 8 for Ruby, 15 for Aiden. When I drove over to check, Omar answered in his boxers, pupils like pinpoints. Kirsten's busy, he slurred. I could see her passed out on the couch at noon on a Tuesday. Empty bottles everywhere. The kids were in their rooms, doors closed, trying to do homework on empty stomachs. Month 4 brought the smell. The kids reeked of cigarettes and something chemical. Ruby started having breathing problems. The school nurse pulled me aside. She was mandated to report if it happened again. I bought the kids new clothes, keeping sets at my house. They'd change before school so no one would notice, but people were noticing. Other parents whispered at pickup. Teachers asked careful questions. Month 5 was when Jaden, the oldest, broke down sobbing in my car. Omar hits things when he's angry, not us yet, but he throws stuff. Mom just sits there. He showed me a video on his phone. Omar screaming, Kirsten nodding off in the corner, Aiden hiding under the table. Please don't make us go back tonight, Jaden begged. I knew I had to confront Kirsten directly. I went over the next morning, when Omar was supposedly at work. Kirsten answered the door looking skeletal, her hair greasy, wearing a stained robe at 10 a.m. We need to talk about the kids, I said gently. They're scared. They're hungry. This isn't you, Kirsten. Her face twisted with rage. Don't you dare bring up my father. The scream made me step back. This wasn't my best friend anymore. Kirsten, please, let me help you get into rehab. I'll keep the kids. You've always wanted my life, haven't you? Her voice dropped, cold and bitter. Perfect kids, perfect everything. Now you see your chance to steal them. My heart broke. Behind her, I saw Jaden in the hallway holding Aiden. That's the drugs talking. Please, think about Ruby's asthma, Aiden's burn. She shoved me hard toward the door. I stumbled back. If you come near my kids again, I'll call the police for kidnapping. The door slammed. Through the window, I could see Aiden crying. That's when I took out my phone and dialed. I knew Kirsten wouldn't show up for pickup. The kids stood by the fence, watching every car that wasn't hers. When I walked up, Jaden's shoulders sagged with relief. Get in the car, guys. I turned around to face them. My hands were shaking. I need to tell you something. They all went still. Your home isn't safe anymore. You know that, right? Jaden nodded. Ruby looked down. Aiden whispered, because of Omar? Because mom is sick and Omar is dangerous. So I called some people who help kids when their homes aren't safe. Are we in trouble? Aiden's voice cracked. No, baby. None of this is your fault. Jaden grabbed both his siblings' hands. Where will we go? I'm going to do everything I can to keep you with me. Ruby finally looked up, tears streaming. You promise? I promised. When we pulled onto Kirsten's street, everything was already happening. Police cars, a CPS van, Omar in handcuffs on the driveway, Kirsten on the porch screaming at social workers while neighbors filmed everything. A social worker approached my car immediately. Jaden rolled down the window himself. We want to stay with her, he said, pointing at me. Please. 6 months later, Kirsten sent me a letter from rehab. Thank you for saving my babies. The kids live with me now, finally safe.